welcome to today's yoga practice. Today's class is called Happy Hips. So we're going to start to work on the hips specifically today. So starting in a nice lay down position, gently coming onto the mat, bringing the soles of the feet to touch. We'll start with a nice grounding meditation in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly pose. So placing your hands onto your tummy, closing down your eyes, and just start to gently focus on your breath as you allow your shoulders to soften. You feel your spine, especially the lower part of the spine, melting onto the mat. And just start to take a few breaths in through the nose and then exhaling out through the nose. You start to feel the floor underneath you supporting your body. Maybe you start to feel some tension relieving in the hip areas. And just begin to notice how you are feeling. Maybe setting an intention for the practice today. And then allowing your knees to gently fall open. Take one big breath in through the nose. And then take a nice exhale out to the mouth. Slowly with your hands, guiding your knees up to center, bringing your knees into your chest and just allowing for your knees on the inhale, you release, and on the exhale you draw your knees into your chest. But as you draw your knees into your chest, try to focus on pressing your sit bone onto the mat, just to deepen that stretch today. Take another breath. And then exhale, let it go. Releasing the hands, slowly just start to roll over onto your right hand side, allowing yourself, whichever way suits you, to come up into a seated position. Coming into bound angle or butterfly pose. So bringing the soles of your feet to touch, sitting up, holding on to your feet for support, allowing your spine to be nice and long. Maybe just start to flap your butterfly wings. And just bringing in some gentle movement into our hip area. Breathing. Exhaling. Noticing how the hips are feeling. Noticing if you've got any tensions there today. And then we'll slowly just start to release. Crossing our legs, planting our hands in front of us, and just allowing ourselves to come into a tabletop position. Starting to work the hips here. Pressing the hands into the mat. Slowly just start to take your heel up towards the ceiling with the knee bent, and then slowly with the right leg start to make some circles. You can lean gently towards the left, and then we'll go in the opposite direction. And then slowly coming back, pushing your heel up to the sky. We just take in the right knee back on the mat. So doing the same on the opposite side, bending the left knee, heel up to the ceiling, and then just start to make your circles on this side. And just noticing how they're feeling on each side. And then the opposite direction. So you're really focusing on the hip joints here, on the groin area. You should feel a release of tension. And then slowly coming back to centre. So from here, placing ourselves on the long end of the mat, we're going to come into frog pose. Now with frog pose, if you've got sore knees, you can use knee pads, or you can roll your mat up and just lean on a double mat, or you can double your mat up if you have an extra one. With your feet, start to take them at a 90-degree angle, your knees and your feet, and just slowly plant your hands onto your mat. And we're just going to slowly work back and forth for a moment, and then you'll start to find that sensation of tension. I invite you to stay here and just breathe into that tension. Try to soften your shoulders. Maybe you can take it a little deeper, or maybe you feel that you can extend your legs a little wider. If it feels good for you today, you could possibly come onto your elbows and onto your forearms and just allow yourself to enter into this nice deep release within the inner groin area, the inner thighs. And just exhale, let it go. Soften your shoulders. And then we slowly press the hands back into the mat. Taking your time here, you can either sit back, or you can move your legs, drawing your knees in, sitting on your bottom, taking some windscreen wipers here, so just releasing the hips because it's quite an intense posture. And then once you've feel comfortable here, you can come back into your tabletop position, keeping the hands pressed. We'll come into lizard pose on the right hand side now. So slowly either place or step your foot to the outside of your right hand. Now focusing on maybe taking this left knee back a little. Allow for either the right foot, heel stays on the mat, toe faces off the mat at an angle. If that's in your practice, allow the knee to fall open. If you've got it in your practice, you can turn your heel to face inward to allow your knee to open up. Staying on your forearms, we're going to open up and lift our chest, allowing our hips to sink. Just breathe into this for a few breaths. And then slowly just allowing the foot to come back onto the mat. Take the right hand, place it on the outside of the foot. Now start to walk the right foot towards the left wrist. Slowly allow for the right knee to go towards the right wrist, coming into our pigeon pose. Now with your pigeon pose, you can either stay with your arms upright. If this feels comfortable for you today, you should feel a lot of tension on this outer part of the right side, hip bottom area. And just allow for your chest to expand here. So we're just staying on our arms today, allowing for us to sink this hip. Maybe you can focus on bringing the left hip forward and take the right hip back a little. That'll deepen that release of tension in your glutes today. Taking a breath. And then slowly starting to just bring that knee back in on that's behind you. Bringing the right knee back to meet the left. Take a wriggle. Notice the slight imbalance you have on both sides. We'll start now by bringing the left foot. So start by planting or walking, whichever's easiest for you. I'm showing you walking, so it makes it a little easier. Start to maybe take the right knee out a little. Remember, either turning the foot to gently come off the mat, opening the knee. If that's enough today, stay here. Start to lift your chest again. If you want to go a little deeper, turn the sole of the foot to face inside. Wherever you are, on each side it can be different. Take that breath, open your chest. You can use some blocks to hold on to if that feels good for you. And just allow yourself to sink into your lizard. And then we'll slowly just start to walk the foot into the inside of the left hand, taking the left foot over to the right, and just allow for the left knee to fall towards the left wrist. Coming into pigeon on the left, you can walk the right knee back a little, just so you can feel that nice release within your left side of the body now. So just allow for you to sink the hips down. You'll feel a deep stretch in your glutes, letting go of that tension. Taking another breath here. And then slowly tucking the back foot, slightly bring the knee forward, bringing yourself back into a tabletop, and then slowly pushing yourself back into a nice wide leg child's pose, a nice wide leg balasana. Bringing your arms out nice and long, take your forehead to the mat and try to work your bottom towards your feet. Breathing it in, letting it go. And then slowly rolling up, coming onto our bottoms, whichever way is comfortable for you. And then we'll slowly just start to lower down, taking arms out, vertebra by vertebra. We're slowly coming onto the mat. Finding your Shavasana this afternoon, and then closing down the eyes. One.